Hello and welcome back to the course. Today I have the pleasure of receiving Irene Comte, who is a senior consultant in the consulting firm Anteverti, which is a consulting firm based in Barcelona, and they are specialized in the domain of smart cities and urban innovation. Thank you very much for being with us here, Irene.
Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. So the first question that I would like to discuss with you is about Barcelona. You have been involved with Barcelona for quite some time, and can you give us a little bit of background about the evolution of thinking about the smart cities in Barcelona?
Of course, I have been knowing the politics, the policies of smart city in Barcelona for the last, I would say, 10 to 12 years. Although there was some innovation happening even before the smart city concept was implemented as such. Barcelona has always been, we think, a quite innovative city, mainly in the urbanism domain, and now also in the smart cities domain. So there has been like a natural link, a progression from the innovation in urbanism, in the way the city was designed and planned and managed, into these new concepts of smart city or urban innovation. This progression has taken Barcelona from a first stage when the smart city concept arrived, where technology was really leading any action that the city was taking. And this is not exclusive from Barcelona. I would say that in any city, the first stages of their approach to smartness were going through technology and new sensors, new gadgets, and how it can help the transition into smartness. And it's interesting to see how Barcelona and other cities have, in these last 10 years, evolved into a richer concept of smartness, which I think it's the way it had to be. You start with technology, thinking that technology is what's going to change, and of course the evolution takes you to introducing governance factors, and this is when the moment when the local government takes lead on technology, and starts to decide on how technology can really be useful for the citizens. And I would say Barcelona is now in this kind of third stage of smart cities, where we have the technology, we have the governance and the surveillance, let's say, from the local government, and we have a third very important factor, which is the citizen-centered approach. So clearly Barcelona is now, in their approach to smart city, in this stage. The new policies from a quite new local government, which changed some months ago, are clearly focused on putting the citizen at the center of any sustainability, smartness, digital policy, and acting from there and looking for the benefit of the life for the citizen.
Great. And then, this leads me to the second question, basically, which is about, what would be the vision of Barcelona for next 10, 15 years, let's say? Now, you said they started from technology, then to the governance, and then to the citizens, and then what would be the next step which you think would evolve, eventually?
Well, if one looks at the new digital agenda, digital plan for the city, which will go until 2020 at least, and then for sure more, one will find some keywords. Technology is regarded as a means for keywords such as openness. They speak a lot about Barcelona being an open city, in the wider sense of the word, which means inclusive, which is another key word, democratic city, how technology will help us to have a more democratic city where people, the citizens, will participate. That's another key word, so participation and technology helping participation. Innovation is another key word that you will find is in this digital agenda, and innovation has also very wide users and wide senses, we will see a lot of the so-called social innovation, which also links to another key word that they are using, which is circular, a circular city, which links to a new trend, very interesting in my opinion, which is the circular economy in cities. I would say these are some of the most important keywords in the future of the approach.
Great, very interesting. And then, let me become a little bit more, practical and concrete. So this is the vision of Barcelona and how things evolved. But can you elaborate a little bit for our audience? What are the practical challenges in managing the transition process from, legacy Barcelona to a smart Barcelona 2015, 2016, and a smart Barcelona 2030 maybe? A little bit elaboration on the practical challenges.
There are a lot, as any ambitious vision. When you start implementing it, then you face the reality. I would say the main, or one of the main challenges is always integration of existing innovation, because, as I said, Barcelona has always been in the move for innovation. So you have some existing infrastructure, some existing policies, existing technical teams in the municipality. And when you bring new elements, such as new information infrastructures, or new policies, or new ways of doing, the first and really big challenge is integrating this into something which is efficient and which really makes a difference. So this transition is never easy and is never fast. And this is for Barcelona, but really for any city. And this happened as well in the last 10 years, when Barcelona started to try new technologies. We have something interesting in Barcelona, which is called the Urban Lab, which is an area of the city dedicated for startup companies or innovative companies to try new technologies in the streets of the city and work closely with the municipality to really find the best users of these solutions. So this happened, we had some learnings from there, but it was not without difficulties. Also because another challenge, I would say, is when you bring in new technologies, new approaches to digital citizenship, new business models need to arise. And not only for private companies, also the local government has to introduce some changes in their procurement. So we will hear a lot in the coming years on innovative public procurement, which is another challenging area, I would say. Because as we all know by now, these smart city projects, the implementation of these solutions are long-term projects. And financing is another big challenge. So who finances innovation? Sometimes the local administration makes the push and the first move. But then this needs some maintenance. So innovative procurement, financing, integration of the existing with the new approaches. These are three. And I would add a fourth. There's probably more. But a fourth would be how to really make the citizens participate, not only be informed that their city is working towards innovation, efficiency, sustainability, but really how to make them participate in the equation, because it's a long-term project where all the stakeholders need to be involved.
Exactly. Great. I also know that you have been involved in all these European projects, not only Barcelona. And the lessons from Barcelona are pretty interesting. But can you also elaborate a little bit on what's happening in Europe, in a broader perspective? How Europe is approaching smart cities, other cities across Europe. Do you know of any initiative, happening right now?
There's many. I know some of them, but particularly a European project, which is under a program called the Lighthouse projects. We are working actively with the municipality of Barcelona in a project called Grow Smarter. Let's say the framework of this project is the goal of Europe and the European Commission to make Europe sustainable in the short, mid and long term. I mean, they started many years ago. The Lighthouse program is a specific one which is tackling environmental sustainability, but also economic sustainability, and it deals a lot with how we manage and plan cities today and in the coming years to fulfill these goals of sustainability. So the Lighthouse program promotes consortiums of European cities. In this case, the Grow Smarter project has 3 leading cities. One is Barcelona, the other one is Stockholm in Sweden, and the third is Köln in Germany. Different areas of Europe with different environmental needs and environmental realities. Of course, the Mediterranean has certain specificities in terms of climate and so on, different than in Stockholm and Köln. So that's the first thing which is interesting of this project. The objectives are, I would say, threefold in this case. It's to try measures or smart solutions towards sustainability in 3 areas. The first one is try solutions or develop solutions in what we call low energy districts. So how can we intervene on buildings, on the streets, on the energy systems that the buildings share and use to make them more efficient and reduce emissions and reduce energy consumption, etc. The second area would be solutions on integrating information infrastructures. So how can we build, for example, city platforms which integrate data and information resources in order, again, to be more efficient. And the third area is sustainable mobility, because of course it's not new to anyone that mobility is one of the key issues in not only in European cities but worldwide. So when we intervene in mobility and implement efficiency in it, we will be tackling one of the most pressing problems in cities. So the project is trying solutions at district level in these 3 areas.
Great. And then, that was an interesting point, because you mentioned about the smart, but smart seems not to be a goal in itself. This is smart for improving sustainability or efficiency, as you mentioned. And I think, that's an important point that sometimes is missing, in the smart city discourse.
Yes, it's clear. Actually, you cannot speak about sustainable without speaking of smart, and the other way around.
Exactly. Good. Thank you very much, Irene. It was very insightful, and thanks for joining us here in the course.
Thank you for the invitation.